Greetings, everyone. Dr. David M. Berry is founder of New Age Truth Incorporated. One of the most profound lessons he taught was that his consciousness came at age 2. Essentially, he explained that by observing his neighbor's tree go through its annual cycle, he started to realize there was something more to the tree than what he could see with his naked eye. There was something causing his neighbor's tree to die and be reborn. What he would eventually realize is that the tree's activity was the result of energy via the sap rising up through the tree. When that sap no longer rose, the tree was no longer active. At the early age of 2, Dr. David M. Berry was preparing himself to understand consciousness, cause and effect, and many other vital universal life principles. Undoubtedly, these observations of his were integral in preparing him for what he was to become later in life, which was a master teacher of life and living it, reality and truth. Now, it is apropos to briefly discuss consciousness. We accept that there is conscious awareness and then conscious realization. We acquire conscious awareness as we observe ourselves, our thoughts, our expressions, our actions. When applied to our objective world out here, we acquire conscious awareness as we observe our physical environment, essentially nature and people. As we continue to build conscious awareness in, through, and by our observations, we may reach conscious realization of the matter we are concerned with, or knowledge, as it is commonly expressed. By observing his neighbor's tree, Dr. Berry started building conscious awareness about the tree's natural annual cycle of what is called life and death. As he observed himself going through his own life cycles, just like his neighbor's tree, Dr. Berry started to become consciously aware that there was a very important aspect of him that he could not see. So, in reality, consciousness is the realization of the source of your form, which is the real you. This source, which we call soul, resides within your form, and its duty is to use love and harmony to control and direct your form and everything that eventuates from it. When we realize that we are more than just a complex matrix of dense flesh, tissue, bones, blood, organs, and so forth, we will learn what we are in reality. So, what are we in reality? Plainly and simply, we are consciousness housed in matter, or conscious energy housed in matter. Therefore, life is consciousness. Consciousness is life. Let's take a brief look at cause and effect regarding the tree. The earth is the source of the tree, and in order for the tree to be born and maintain life, energy from the earth has to rise up through the tree. When that energy, via sap, dissipates, usually in winter, we say the tree died. In reality, there's no such thing as death, but for the sake of sublimation, we will use the term. Incidentally, the earth also makes up part of our human forms. Unlike a tree, though, humans have consciousness, which has no form. Therefore, we are hybrid, mental and physical, mind and matter. The energy, or sap, from the earth is the cause of the tree. This energy provides the seed what it needs to grow and develop leaves, branches, bark, fruit, etc. The seed that grows into the tree comes from the earth as well. This takes us to energy. Energy is simply that which allows movement, be it physical or mental movement. Nothing moves without energy. This compels us to share a bit about thought. First of all, what is the purpose of thought? Listen very carefully, because this is critically important. The purpose of thought is to turn reality into truth. The purpose of thought is to turn reality into truth. Thoughts are given perspective in, through, and by the mind's use of its brain. The brain is the mind's organ of perception. It takes one or more of our so-called five senses to allow us to perceive. Therefore, once mind uses the elements to create its vehicle, mind uses the brain to operate its vehicle's senses. Mind uses these senses to generate thoughts. Our thoughts shape our perception. Allow me to demonstrate. The eyes are connected to the brain via the optic nerve. With my eyes, I observe a fancy painting in a museum. Now, with my mind, I decide whether or not I like or dislike the painting, find it cool or corny, funny or sad. I can even go back to the museum at a later date, view the same painting, and completely change my perspective of it. Each individual's mind is a part of cosmic mind. Once cosmic mind individualizes itself, those individual rays of cosmic mind penetrate into matter and form their own vehicles, giving each of us our unique identity on this earth plane. The individualization of cosmic mind for each person on earth we call soul. Soul means source, and everything eventually returns to its source. Therefore, just as our individual mind comes from universal or cosmic mind, so shall it return once it leaves its vehicle. Mind or soul leaving its vehicle causes death. Cosmic mind's vehicle is the cosmos itself. Our individual mind's vehicle is our form. We said the purpose of thought was to turn reality into truth. In other words, take that which is within or mental plane and reveal it outwardly or physical plane so that it is witnessed by others. Allow me to demonstrate reality to truth. I know what I am going to do immediately after counting down from 5 to 1. What I am going to do is on the inner plane of reality or mental plane. It is hidden. It is invisible. Now, once I count down, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It has now gone from inner plane reality to physical plane truth. Now everyone watching this video knows what was within me. But again, it is critical to understand that the thought of clapping my hands existed on the inner plane of reality first. Therefore, it was invisible to everyone and was not made truth at this stage. But once I manifested the thought within by clapping my hands twice, everyone who witnessed me clap my hands could say, I didn't know what Brother Osiris was going to do, but now I know the truth. I am indeed a living witness to him clapping his hands twice. I have reached conscious realization of what he did. Reality to truth. Reality to truth. What is it? What is within revealed outward. What is within revealed outward. Now, we want to close with a message about the importance for our precious children to learn and apply what has been discussed. It is imperative that our children learn that they are more than just a complex matrix of blood, bone, and flesh. We can all easily observe that our blood, bone, flesh, tissue, organs, etc. do not have consciousness. So there is more to us than what we see with our naked eye or observe under a microscope. If we learn this ourselves and teach this to our children, they can observe for themselves what they are in reality. This is critical because once they realize that their forms, which they can see, must be controlled by their minds, which they cannot see, the more they can hasten their development. Let's look at a child who has had an experience that caused him to get angry. Once the young man realizes that he is mind and that it is mind's duty to control and properly direct its vehicle, especially the emotions that permeate it, he will be well equipped to deal with anger and other destructive impressions. Our academic and scientific circles stress learning to manage manage anger. We beg to differ though. The wisest individual learns to prevent getting angry in the first place. However, if he happens to get angry, he wants to neutralize, transform, and disintegrate the anger as soon as possible to prevent potential damage to his heart, high blood pressure, risk of stroke, and other destructive ailments. If he merely attempts to manage his anger, he is still angry. Therefore, he can still be a detriment to himself and others. Which is wiser, learning to manage anger or learning to prevent anger? When the young man learns to think rationally and reasonably, thereby gaining more self-control, he will avoid getting angry, thus preventing harm to himself, the one who tested him, and even others. Of course, this is easier said than done. This degree of self-control takes practice, practice, practice. This is why I am stressing that our children must reach conscious realization of what they are in reality at a very early age. Upon doing so, they may aspire and develop the self-discipline necessary to make intelligent, therefore rational and reasonable decisions. So let's see here. A child, 2 years old, observes a tree going through its annual cycle of life and death, or activity and inactivity. Year after year, he observes it die in winter and be reborn in spring. Through his observations, he starts to realize that there is something greater to the tree than its seed and leaves, branch. There is something greater to the tree than its seed and leaves, bark, and branches he can see. He starts to realize that whatever it is that he cannot see brings the tree back to life each year. The thought of our precious children starting off on this conscious path at a very early age is extremely encouraging. If we are going to see great improvement in ourselves first and foremost, our families, our communities, and across the globe, it will start with receptivity of these universal life principles. This message employs nuggets of wisdom knowledge from my master teacher, Dr. David M. Berry, who I am eternally grateful for. Thank you for your time and consideration. Love and harmony, Brother Osiris.